Stage 1. You're 8 years old, and your dad hands you a football in the backyard. It's heavier than you expected, and your fingers don't fit around it the way his do. You wrap both arms around it instead, holding on like it might get away from you. Across the yard, a kid from down the street is already running at you, and he's bigger than you by at least a head. You don't know how to protect the ball yet, so you just brace and hope. He hits you before you get 3 steps, and you go down hard, the ball bouncing away into the grass. For a second, you just lie there, dirt on your hands, staring up at the sky. Nobody warns you about this part, that you'll fail constantly before you're ever good at anything. You sit up. You don't cry, even though you want to. You just watch where the ball rolled and start crawling toward it. Your dad walks over and crouches down next to you. He doesn't ask if you're okay. He picks up the ball and shows you how to actually hold it. Fingers spread across the laces, elbow tucked close to your ribs, ball pressed tight against your body so it can't be knocked loose. You copy him, adjusting your grip until it feels less awkward. Then he backs up 10 feet and tells you to throw it to him. Your first throw wobbles badly through the air, end over end, nowhere close to where you actually aimed. He catches it anyway and throws it back a little harder than before. You catch it, and it stings your hands, but you don't let go. That sting becomes something you will get used to. The first small proof that you can take a hit and still hold on to what is yours. You do not know it yet, but this is the beginning of everything that is about to happen to you. That single habit is the only qualification anyone needs at 8 years old, and somehow it still matters 20 years from now, win or lose. You throw the ball back and forth until the porch light clicks on behind you, and neither of you says much because neither of you needs to. Stage 2. You're 11 now, and tryouts for the middle school team are in 3 days. You've practiced in your backyard for years, but this is different. Real coaches, real cuts, real kids who are already bigger and faster than you. You show up in gear that still feels new and stiff, standing in a line of boys you don't know, waiting for your name to get called. A coach blows a whistle and everyone scatters into a drill you don't fully understand yet. You run anyway, copying whoever's closest to you. Someone throws you the ball mid-sprint and you catch it without thinking, your body reacting before your mind catches up. A defender comes out of nowhere and drives into your side, and you both hit the ground hard, dust rising around you. You get up slower than you'd like, but you get up. That's the only thing the coaches are actually grading. Later, the ball comes to you again, high and fast, and you leap for it, hands closing around it just before it slips past. You land hard, but you're holding it. Small celebration, nobody's really watching, but it matters to you. In the huddle, the coach calls out positions, and yours is one of the names read off the list. You made the team. For the first few games, you mostly watch from the bench, studying the older kids, learning the rhythm of a real game instead of a backyard one. You notice the way they talk to each other on the field, short and clipped, nothing wasted. And you start copying that too, quietly, without anyone teaching you to. Then one afternoon, your number gets called, and you run onto the field for the first time in a real uniform. Heart pounding harder than it ever has before, legs moving like they already know exactly where to go, even if the rest of you is still catching up to what's happening. You don't remember most of that first game clearly, just fragments. The sound of your own breathing, the weight of the helmet, the strange relief of surviving it. Stage 3. By 15, you're not just on the team. You're the reason people show up to watch. Under the stadium lights on Friday night, the crowd noise blurs into one long roar, and you can pick your name out of it even through your helmet. You take the snap, cut past a defender who reads you wrong, and sprint down the sideline with nothing but green grass ahead of you. You cross the line and throw your arms up, ball raised, and for 1 second, the entire stadium is loud because of something you did. Your teammates get to you before you can even turn around, lifting you, slapping your helmet, screaming things you can barely hear over the noise. On the sideline, your coach doesn't say much, just a nod, which somehow means more than words would. In the locker room afterward, guys who barely spoke to you as a freshman now save you a seat. In the hallways on Monday, people who've never talked to you know your name. At lunch, your table fills up without you asking anyone to sit there. You start to believe the hype a little, because how could you not, when every room you walk into suddenly feels different because of who they think you are now? Under the lights again the next week, you feel it building, this sense that you're becoming something bigger than yourself. Something the whole town has decided to care about, whether you're ready for that weight or not. Teachers mention your games in class. Strangers at the grocery store recognize your face. Nobody warns you that this feeling has a shelf life and that almost nobody gets to keep it forever, no matter how hard they try to hold on to it once it starts slipping. Stage 4. At 18, the stadium gets bigger, and so does everyone in it. College scouts line the sidelines with clipboards, watching you the way you used to watch older players. Evaluating, measuring, deciding if you're worth the risk. You run every drill knowing someone is grading it, and the pressure sits differently than it ever did in high school. During a tryout session, you sprint through a route and catch a pass with textbook precision, and for a moment, you let yourself believe it's enough. A scout nods, writes something down you can't read, and moves on to the next kid without a word to you. In the locker room, you suit up alongside players who are bigger, faster, and more polished than anyone you've played against before. And for the first time, you feel genuinely small on a football field, like the years of work you put in barely register here at all. On the field, you go head-to-head with another recruit for the same ball, both of you diving, only one of you coming up with it. Some days it's you, some days it isn't, and those days sit with you longer than they probably should. Replaying in your head at night, you spend one entire afternoon in street clothes on the sideline, watching drills you weren't selected for, wondering if that means something about how this is going to go for you specifically. Nobody promises you a scholarship just because you want one badly enough. You learn fast that wanting it and earning it are two completely different things, and the gap between them is where most people your age quietly disappear from the sport for good, without anyone ever really noticing they're gone from the roster at all. Stage 5. By 20, football has started costing you pieces of your body you didn't know you'd have to give up. A trainer wraps your ankle in a room that smells like antiseptic, taping it tight enough that walking feels foreign for a few days afterward. You sit in an ice bath afterward, jaw clenched, breathing through the cold because that's part of the routine now too, whether you want it to be or not. On the field, you're running slower than you used to, favoring one side without meaning to. And the guys who used to struggle to keep up with you now pass you without much effort, and you notice every single time it happens. Even when nobody else seems to, your coach pulls you aside, arms crossed, voice careful but direct, telling you they need to see more before they can guarantee you playing time this season. You nod like you understand, even though every part of you wants to argue back and remind him who you used to be before the injuries started stacking up one after another. On game days now, you sometimes watch from the bench in street clothes, cheering for guys who took the spot you used to hold without a second thought about it. Back in the locker room after a loss, you sit alone for a minute, shoulders slumped, not from exhaustion, but from something closer to doubt creeping in where confidence used to live comfortably. Late at night in your dorm, you study the playbook with an ice pack strapped to your knee, trying to prove to yourself this is still worth it, still yours to keep fighting for. Nobody tells you plainly that your body might not survive 4 more years of this, so you just keep going and quietly hope that it somehow does, 1 week at a time, 1 Sunday at a time.
Stage 6. At 23, you get an invite to a pro tryout, and for a few days, you actually believe this is happening for real. After everything, you walk into the facility, and every other guy there looks like he was built specifically for this. Taller, faster, more explosive than you remember being at your absolute best. You run your drills anyway, giving everything you have left, chasing a stopwatch that doesn't care how hard you're trying or how far you've already come to get here today. During the bench press test, your arms shake on the last few reps, and a spotter has to help you rack the bar before your form completely breaks down in front of everyone watching. During a catching drill, the ball comes in fast and slightly off target, and it slips through your hands and hits the ground before you can adjust your footing to compensate for the angle. An official standing nearby writes something on a clipboard without looking up at you, and the silence that follows feels louder than any hit you've ever taken on the field before. Later, a coach shakes your hand and thanks you for coming out, and something in his tone tells you everything you need to know before he even says another word to you directly. You sit alone in the empty stadium afterward, gear bag beside you, staring at a field that suddenly feels like it doesn't belong to you anymore, and maybe never really did in the first place. Walking out to the parking lot, you carry your bag over one shoulder, head down, past a stadium you'll probably never step foot in again as anything more than a spectator in the stands. Nobody warns you how quiet it gets the moment the dream officially, permanently ends. Stage 7. By 27, you're sitting at a desk in an office that has nothing to do with football, staring at a screen, wondering how exactly you got here from where you used to be standing every single Friday night. Your body still remembers the sport even when your schedule doesn't. A dull ache in your knee some mornings, muscle memory that flinches when someone throws something toward you unexpectedly in a hallway or a parking lot. On your phone, old highlight videos still exist, Tiny clips of a version of you that used to run under stadium lights while people screamed your name loud enough to shake the bleachers around them. You watch a few seconds of one during your lunch break, then put the phone away before anyone at the next desk asks what you're looking at so closely and quietly. At home, you sit on the couch while a football game plays on TV, watching guys your age still doing what you used to do every single week without fail, and you feel something between pride and grief that you can't fully name out loud to anyone around you. You start going to a regular gym now, surrounded by people who have no idea you ever played, lifting weights next to men who are just trying to stay healthy, not trying to make anything of themselves the way you once desperately did. One evening, you catch your reflection in the bathroom mirror and just look at yourself for a while, trying to figure out who exactly you are without the sport attached to your name anymore, permanently. Nobody prepares you for life after the game ends, so you're left figuring it out one ordinary, unremarkable day at a time, the same as everyone else eventually has to, whether they were ever a star or not.